What up, everybody? It's your boy Goosebumps Trend here, aka Joshua Saki, back with another video. You know it, guys. So today I'm doing a movie review on Silver Bullet by Stephen King. Now the book this is based off of is actually not called Silver Bullet, it's called Cycle of the Werewolf. And if many of you don't know, werewolves are my favorite mythical creature. Besides dragons, basilisks, and Phoenix. I think, yeah, Phoenixes, yep. So, what it's basically about is I'll read it to you, okay? I'll read you the back. So, basically, it's about this kid named, Marty Kozlov. And it takes place in 1973, during the spring of 1973. And in a small town where basically this kid's is wheelchair bound, and he lives with his mom, his dad, his grandfather, and his uncle, who's his mom's sister. And the movie is narrated from his sister, who's older than him by, I think she's like 14 or 15 in the book, and he's like 11, and in the movie he's 13-year-old, or he's like 10 in the book, and like in the movie he's 13 years old and her sister's like 15 or 16. Anyways, so like she never, like, talking about how the sisters never could really never really liked her brother until that point in the story. So she tells the story how she'd grown to love her brother and stuff like that, and like he was a nuisance, he was like kind of like stuff like that, and so it's an interesting story. So basically this kid basically thinks there's a werewolf that's killing all these people in town, and the town basically is going batshit crazy after these people are legit dying out of nowhere, being ripped into shreds in the middle of the night. So at one point, a group of people create a posse, or like you could say a mob. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning. It's like, was it like 3 in the afternoon here? So guys, so he basically goes after, they go after this guy. They go after this werewolf, and there's a bunch of people, and the sheriff is against it. Like, hey, that's kind of against the law. Even though I'm not the president of the United States, when I'm in this town, you listen to my rules. And the mob's like, yeah, fuck you. We don't give a shit. We want blood because someone's killing our family members, and we don't want to stop. So they end up going after him, and then a bunch of people get killed. So anyways, this kid, Marty Kozlov, is like, I gotta say, he has pretty lax parents. Like, his uncle gives him legit fireworks, like explosives, okay? And one night while he's walking home, running, or driving, or, wheeling home, he's in a wheelchair. He's a paraplegic. They never explain that in the book and how he became a paraplegic either. I read the book, too. Cycle of the Werewolf, and I love this movie. It's one of my favorite Stephen King movies. One of my other favorite Stephen King movies is Christine. I like Children of the Corn, and there's a couple other ones I like, but I'm not going into that reign right now. I also like It. So he's wheelchairing in the night, and then the werewolf attacks him, tries to attack him, and he managed to shoot a firework and busts and it hits the guy, the werewolf in the eye, cutting his, making him lose his eye. So now he has a gaping hole where his eye should be. Okay? Because he lost his eyeball and shit. And it turns out the werewolf is actually the town's priest or reverend. And he's been struggling with this for a very long time. Like, he doesn't know how he became a werewolf, but he has a feeling that's when he he didn't steal, but he took flowers from a grave, and that's when he thought it's when he's transformation. And in the movie, and then also in the book, he has a dream where his entire congregation turns into werewolves. He turns into a werewolf, and then all things go batshit crazy. It's a weird dream. Let me get this ready. But this further confirms it. And then when he finally wakes up, he realizes that he lost his eye, and he has blood on his face and mouth and blood on his fingers that's not his. Anyways, finally Marty just fucks it. He's pissed. Okay. In the book, he writes letters to the guy who knows the werewolf, to the Reverend, and tells him that he knows his secret, and he better leave town and shit happens, or else this shit can happen. And the Reverend does leave town, but then comes back to see who knows it. And Marty finally kind of slips up and signs his name to one of the letters. But in the book, in the episode, I don't think he writes that. Oh shit! Sorry guys. I don't think he ever writes a letter to him in the movie. Then again, I was like half paying attention last night at one point, but for like 15 minutes of the movie, I was half paying attention, half not. So maybe that's why I'm not sure if he wrote a letter to him or not. But anyways, he goes to his uncle, which is played by Uncle Red is his name, played by Gary Busey. And it's the guy who gives him the fireworks, and he asks, "I need a silver bullet." And the guy goes to the guy who makes bullets in town, and he creates one silver bullet. And he has a revolver that his uncle gives him. Or, I guess a family revolver. And then one night, it's on Halloween night. In the book, it's New Year's Eve, which is interesting. In the movie, it's Halloween night. And which actually I have to admit, Halloween seems more fitting than New Year's Eve. I'm just saying. Makes a lot more sense on Halloween than it is New Year's Eve, but whatever. Anyway, so he is armed with one silver bullet, and they're ready to go hunting. And before they could even leave the house, the werewolf, the Reverend, just bursts through the window and fucking just starts destroying shit up. He tries to attack everybody. He's getting pushed to the ground and everything. There's a struggle, and there's a trap that fails to work. And then finally, just in the nick of time, there's a scene where he got pushed against the wall and was knocked out for a couple seconds. And it gives Marty enough time to, reload the gun. And just as he's about to jump at him, Marty shoots him, cold-cocked him. I think he shoots him in the heart, if I remember correctly. I don't remember where he shot. I think it was the heart or the head. I don't remember. In the book, I think he shot him in the heart. In the movie, I think it's the head. Shoots him right here. And he immediately just he falls back, and he starts to deform since, he gets shot with a silver bullet, so the curse is technically lifted, so his body starts to change back to a normal human's body. And then after it transforms back, he goes one more. That's kind of scary, but he's not. He's just dead, and then that's it. And the brother makes a joke with his sister, and she says this, and she gives him a hug. I think the ending part is the funniest part, interesting part where she says to her brother Marty, "I love you, Marty." And then Jane, the narrator, who's the narrator in the story. By the way, the book has a different name from the movie, sister, which is funny. I thought that was interesting, actually, because the book, I think her name is Casey or Caddy or whatever, and the movie, her name is Jane. Oh. Fuck me. Okay, so basically, Jane says, "I love you, Marty," and Marty says, "I love you too." And then Jaden who's the narrator, says, "It's funny, I was never able to say that to my brother before that moment, that I love him, and now I can." And then I guess she speaks to her brother in real time. "I love you, Marty, good night." And that's the end of the movie, and it goes right to credits. Pretty much one of my favorite Stephen King books, stories. Also because I love werewolves, and that's why. Also, I like Marty, he's a cool guy, cool kid. Doesn't let being in a wheelchair stop him from being a badass. Let's put it that way. Never lets being in a wheelchair stop him from being a badass.